150 earthquakes in a single day, not over a week, not over a month, one single day. And the ash won't stop. It just keeps coming. Guys, this is happening right now on the island of Negros in the Philippines. And Volcas, that's the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. They are watching this very, very closely. Because what is happening at Kanlaon Volcano right now is not normal behavior, even for a volcano that has been erupting since June 2024. This is a step change. This is escalation. And I have to say, when I looked at these numbers for the first time, I had to look again. 150 volcanic earthquakes in 24 hours. 4 tremor episodes in a single day. The longest one lasting 1 hour and 40 minutes. Let that sink in. That's the earth shaking. Continuously, beneath your feet, for nearly 2 hours straight. And we have 24 ash emission events recorded in just the first 13 days of April alone. 24. So what does all of this mean? Is this volcano about to do something catastrophic? Is alert level 2 still enough? And who is in the danger zone right now? I'm going to tell you everything, fresh from the earth. Stay with me. Let's start with exactly what happened. On April 12, 2026, Volcanoes recorded 150 volcanic earthquakes at Kanlaon in a single 24-hour monitoring period. 150. That included 4 separate episodes of volcanic tremor, each one lasting between 40 minutes and 1 hour and 40 minutes. The next day, April 13th, it didn't stop. Another 102 volcanic earthquakes recorded, 2 more tremor episodes, still going. And alongside all of that seismic chaos, ash emissions are pouring out of the crater daily. On April 12th alone, Volcanoes recorded multiple ash emissions lasting between 47 and 129 minutes each. Nearly 2.5 hours of continuous ash emission in one event. Plumes rising 400 to 1,200 meters, that's 1,300 to nearly 4,000 feet, above the summit crater. Drifting southeast, drifting south, drifting southwest. Ash is falling on communities around Negros Island. Sulfurous fumes have been reported in La Carlota City, Bago City, and Moises Padilla in Negros Occidental. And the sulfur dioxide numbers, between 610 and 2,470 tons per day in the past week alone. The Office of Civil Defense for the Negros Island region has now said publicly, those multiple ash emissions on April 12th are, quote, indicative of shallow magmatic phreatic activity. Shallow, magmatic, phreatic. That combination should grab your attention, and I'll explain exactly why that matters further into this video. Stay with me. Now let's talk about the people, because this isn't just a geological event. There are real communities living in the shadow of this volcano right now. The 4-kilometer permanent danger zone around Kanlaon summit, that's a 2.5-mile radius of ground nobody is allowed to enter. At all. Not for work, not for farming, not for anything. Pyroclastic density currents, ballistic projectiles, rockfalls, volcanic gases, lahars. Those are the words Volcanoes is using. Those are the real hazards on the table. And when I look at what happened in June 2024, the eruption that started all of this, I have to tell you, when you see those numbers, you feel the weight of it. That eruption affected over 57,000 people, nearly 3,900 displaced, 2,180 houses damaged, over $3 million in agricultural losses. And then the December 2024 eruption hit. Another 40,000 people affected across the Visayas. Shockwaves felt 30 kilometers from the crater, booming sounds, like an explosion. And April 2025, more than 28,000 people displaced from 34 barangays. Now it is April 2026, and it is happening again. These are farming communities. These are families, people who have lived near this mountain their whole lives, people who built their homes here, people who cannot simply walk away. Because where do you go? The same question we ask in Sicily when the hillside collapses. The same question we ask in Naples where people live on top of a supervolcano. Where do you go when the danger zone is your home? Guys, before we go deeper, can you do me a favor? Give this video a like and a hype. Share it with someone who needs to know about this. Leave me a comment. I read them all. It helps the channel. Costs you nothing. And honestly, this story deserves more attention than it is getting. Let's continue now. Let me explain what is actually happening inside this volcano. Because the numbers are alarming. But the science behind the numbers is what should really make you stop and think. Kanlaon is what geologists call an andesitic stratovolcano. That's a tall, steep-sided volcano built up from layers of hardened lava, ash, and volcanic debris over thousands of years. The highest point on the entire island of Negros, 2,465 meters high. That's over 8,000 feet. And it has been in a state of continuous eruption since June 3, 2024. Nearly 2 years, guys. Now here's the key thing. What's happening right now? This surge to 150 earthquakes in a day. This isn't just surface noise. Volcanic earthquakes like these are generated by two things. First, magma or volcanic fluids forcing their way through cracks in the rock beneath the volcano. Second, the rock itself fracturing under the pressure of what's building below. So when Volcanoes records 150 of these events in 24 hours, that tells us the pressure system inside this volcano is extremely active. Something is moving. Something is pushing. Now here's what makes Kanlaon particularly dangerous right now. The Office of Civil Defense described the April 12th ash emissions as shallow magmatic phreatic activity. Let me break that down. Phreatic means water-driven. Water, either from rainfall or hydrothermal systems, is meeting the hot magma or superheated rock near the surface. When that happens, the water flashes instantly to steam, the pressure is enormous, and it explodes outward. That's a phreatic eruption. It can happen with almost no warning. Volc's director, Teresito Bacolcol, has said it directly. There's a pressure building up beneath the volcano. Right. And here's what I want you to understand. Before the February 19th eruption this year, sulfur dioxide had actually dropped to an exceedingly low average of just 174 tons per day. Then boom. Moderately explosive eruption. 2-kilometer ash plume. Shockwave felt beyond 30 kilometers. Low SO2 before an eruption is not reassuring. Sometimes it means the gas pathway has become blocked. Pressure builds. Then it finds a way out, violently. That's one of the most dangerous scenarios in volcanology. The volcano goes quiet, and then it explodes. So when the numbers suddenly jump to 150 earthquakes a day right now, after weeks of moderate activity, this is the volcano telling us something is changing beneath the surface. And we need to listen. Now I want to do something I always do. I want to go back. Because this volcano does not erupt out of nowhere. It never did. And understanding the history tells us exactly how serious this could get. Kanlaon has erupted more than 40 times since records began in 1866. 40 documented eruptions. Over 160 years of recorded fire. In September 2024, just months after the current unrest began, Volcanoes recorded a single-day sulfur dioxide output of 9,985 tons, nearly 10,000 tons, in one day. And then the very next day, it surpassed that, 11,556 tons. That was described as the highest SO2 output since instrumental monitoring began. It prompted scientists to raise concern about a possible first full magmatic eruption since 1902. 1902. The last time Kanlaon had a proper strombolian eruption, ejecting incandescent cinders, lava bombs, lapilli, was over 120 years ago. And now the volcano has been erupting explosively every few months since 2024. February 2026 eruption. March 15, 2026, a 5-kilometer high ash column. Incandescent blocks ejected up to 1 kilometer from the crater rim. Fires ignited on the forest margins of the upper flank. The monitoring station closest to the crater was damaged, engulfed by fire. Let that sink in. And in October 2024, Volcanoes recorded 28 separate ash emission events in just days, each lasting between 4 minutes and over an hour. So what we are seeing right now in April 2026, 24 ash emissions in 13 days, 150 earthquakes in a single day, this fits a very clear pattern. A pattern of escalation. A pattern that has preceded every major eruption at this volcano for the past 2 years. Now let's zoom out. Because this is bigger than Kanlaon, bigger than Negros Island. And I think most people watching outside the Philippines don't realize what they're looking at. The Philippines sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, right where the Philippine Sea Plate collides with the Eurasian Plate. It is one of the most volcanically and seismically active regions on the entire planet. Right now, and I mean right now, this week, Mayon volcano in the Philippines is also erupting. Lava flows, pyroclastic density currents, between 34 and 254 volcanic earthquakes per day. Sulfur dioxide emissions averaging between 1,500 and 2,400 tons daily. So you have two of the most dangerous volcanoes in the Philippines erupting simultaneously. And I also have to mention this. On April 10th, just days ago, Taal Volcano, also in the Philippines, recorded a 2-minute phreatomagmatic eruption, 3 major Philippine volcanoes, all showing elevated activity, all at the same time. Is this a coincidence? Possibly. The Ring of Fire is always active. But when you see this level of simultaneous unrest across multiple volcanic systems, in one country, in one region, the scientists pay attention. And so should we. Because the Kanlaon volcanic system has the capacity to produce much larger events than what we have seen so far. The largest debris avalanche ever recorded in the Philippines originated from Kanlaon. 33 kilometers. That's 20 miles of debris traveling downslope from a single collapse event. Can you really imagine that? 20 miles of destruction. From one event. Now, I am not saying that is imminent, but what I am saying is this. This volcano is not being taken seriously enough by the international community, because the people who live here know exactly what this mountain is capable of. They have lived through eruption after eruption. They have evacuated, returned, evacuated again. And every time this volcano spikes like this, 150 earthquakes in a day, the clock gets reset. The question is not if Kanlaon will escalate further. The question is when and what form it will take. So what should we watch for? What are the signs that this situation is about to get significantly worse? First, tremor duration. Right now, the tremors are lasting up to 1 hour and 40 minutes. That is long. That is sustained fluid movement inside the volcanic system. If those tremors start extending beyond 2 hours and occurring multiple times daily, that is a serious escalation indicator. Second, sulfur dioxide trends. This is the most important gas to watch. Current SO2 is between 610 and 2,470 tons per day. If that number suddenly drops very low, like we saw before the February explosion, watch out. That could mean a pathway blockage. Pressure builds silently, then it releases all at once. Third, ground deformation. PHIVOLCS monitors GPS and electronic tilt sensors around the volcano. The edifice has been inflating, swelling, since 2022 due to deep magma intrusion. If inflation rates accelerate sharply, that means more magma is pushing in from below. That changes the risk level significantly. Fourth, alert level movement. Kanlaon has been at alert level 2 since July 2025. That means moderate unrest, on a scale of 0 to 5. But experts have already stated that local government units should prepare for sudden escalation toward a, quote, hazardous worst-case explosive eruption. Those are the official words. Worst-case explosive eruption. If PHIVOLCS raises this to alert level 3, that signals heightened unrest with a very real possibility of a major hazardous eruption. That is when mass evacuations begin. And given that the April 2025 eruption alone displaced over 28,000 people from 34 barangays, the scale of a worst-case scenario here is enormous. Aviation has already been warned. Pilots are prohibited from flying close to the summit. Ash and ballistic fragments from sudden explosive eruptions can destroy aircraft engines at altitude. This is not a hypothetical concern. This is an active aviation hazard. Right now. Guys, 150 earthquakes in a day. 24 ash emission events in 13 days. A volcano that has erupted explosively 3 times already in 2026. And sulfur dioxide readings that keep spiking and dropping in patterns that volcanologists know all too well. Kanlaon is not resting. Kanlaon is not slowing down. The pressure inside this mountain is building. The magmatic system is active. The clock is ticking. And the communities on the slopes of this volcano, the farmers, the families, the people who have called this island home for generations, they are watching and waiting. Not because they want to, because they have nowhere else to go. I'll keep watching this for you. Every spike in seismicity, every new ash emission, every official bulletin from PHIVOLCS. I'm on the pulse for you. If you found this video valuable, please give it a like and a hype. Share it. This story deserves more eyes. And if you want to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. Thank you to everyone who has already done that. It means everything. Check out the videos in the end screen. There's a lot more happening on the Ring of Fire right now that you need to see. Stay safe, guys. Be aware. Bye-bye.